The first part of our lecture notes. So I skipped a whole entire section because I wanted to do LM first because we just finished topic 4, money market. So now let's go backwards to page 3. Now we're going to do goods market. Okay? So market, you should know demand, supply. So money market, we saw money demand, money supply. So goods market, we will also have supply, known as aggregate supply. Okay? Then we also have demand, aggregate demand. But because in ISLM prices are fixed, we say AD is AE. Okay? And in short form, sometimes we call it the Z line or the AE line. So remember, I am not doing ADAS, I'm doing ASAE model. So this is called the Keynesian cross model. Be careful, this is not ADAS. Okay, don't get confused. So we are interested to know, alright, production of goods and the spending of goods in an economy. So first of all, alright, we must look at how spending came about. So we make an assumption it was a closed economy. So if you have a good mastery of the first 10 pages, when I do topic 6, open economy, you will see that I take the same approach. That's why a good anchor point on topic 5 will bring you to topic 6, alright, and you can cruise better. So when we say spending in a closed economy, we merely look at 3 groups of people. C, I, and G, household, firms, and government. Okay, so we have covered consumption topic in theory, consumption theory in topic 1. So I won't go through, but you should know, focus is on C1. How much people spend depends on C1, and C1 is the MPC, change in C over change in 1. Okay, the tax that we pay has 2 types, can be lump sum tax, okay, or could be proportional tax. And in tutorial 1, we saw GST, D2C. Alright, but we don't discuss that. So consumption is primarily based on your income, but how much you really get to spend, you must look at how much lump sum tax you pay, how much income tax you need to pay. So this tells you, you have to, if you are not familiar with this, you have to go back to topic 1, Keynes consumption function. Okay, now we look at firms. The I bar went missing, so put in the I bar firm. Okay, Keynes investment function was I bar plus B1Y minus B2R. Alright, firms look at long run interest rate because they must borrow over a span of 10-20 years. Okay, but because P is fixed, prices are fixed, so pi is 0. There is no inflation. Alright, our Fisher's equation says R equals to I minus pi. Therefore, R equals to I. Investment function can be written as I bar plus B1Y minus B2I. Right? And what is the important variable discussed in investment theory is B2. So consumption theory, we are very concerned over MPC. Investment theory, we are very concerned over B2. Right? Okay, how firms react to interest rate, and this interest rate is the cost of borrowing. So what I'm doing here is I quickly summarize for you topic 2. Okay, so that's why I mentioned our discussion in the next few lectures, there's no new theories. You're always falling back on your old theories. So that was consumption, that was investment. Okay, so both of them must look at indicators like income and taxes, right? Income and interest rate. Now we look at the third sector, government. How do governments spend? Government, unlike consumption and investment, household spend, right, because they want to maximize satisfaction. Firms spend because they want to maximize profit. But when government spend, right, government cannot react like household and firms. Government is not profit-seeking. Government is not self-satisfying. Government is to run the economy. Alright, so in this case, we move to page 4 to understand how do government structure his spending. Okay, now, first when government spend, okay, government must have financing. Not like household, our financing is income or we borrow. Similarly goes to firms, right? Firms, when they want to spend, they can look at profit, they can borrow, they can issue shares. But what about government? When he wants to spend, we must know where he gets his money from. Okay, and the primary source of funding is not printing money, like we know, it's actually through taxes. So we're going to quickly look at government's tax revenue equation. Right, and you could see nothing new. You have actually seen this in topic 1 before. Right, the government has 2 types of tax, lump sum. And if you recall in topic 1, I told you lump sum is very easy to implement. Everybody in this room must pay $5 tax. Rich or poor, I don't care. Very easy to collect, but very unfair. Alright, it is actually very unfair to the poor. Okay, alright, but very easy to collect. Then the second type of tax, T1 and T2, is your proportional tax. Okay, and they are tax rates, means they are in percentage. Lump sum is already in dollars and cents. But T1, T2 is in percentage. So they are proportional tax because it varies with your income and your spending. So such tax is very equitable. If you are richer, you pay more income. If you are richer, you spend more, you pay more GST. So it is actually fair. But it's very hard to collect. It's very hard to collect because you must monitor the income level and the spending level. So therefore, each has its pros and cons. Therefore, government actually collect both types of taxes. Lump sum and proportional tax. Okay? Now, you may be glad to know that in our syllabus, we usually assume T2 is 0. We usually don't discuss consumption tax. We will stick with lump sum and income tax. Okay? But we've seen it in tutorial 1, examiner in part C, would like to change to consumption tax. But in our discussion, we'll leave it as 0. But those of you who are adventurous, try it out yourself. So first, before government spend, government must know his sources of funds. And if he's collecting taxes, he must know which type is he collecting and what is the possible amount. Okay? Then from there, government plans his spending. So government spending is denoted by the alphabet G. Okay, and similarly, you can see government spending also has 2 components, lump sum. So this is fixed. So we call this planned spending. Government, it's not like household and firms. They have their own needs. Household has satisfaction level. Okay, they actually create or chase after material grants and needs. Firms buy investment goods to maximize profit. But government is different. Government, no matter what happens to the economy, must have some amount of planned spending. Okay, and you may wish to know, the basic tier is of course to pay salaries of civil servants. So all these are planned, Every department, every ministry in the country will report their budget. So government will know, okay, I must pay salary to civil servants, to our ministers, to our president. This is unchanged. It's planned ahead. So it's independent of whether you get funds or not. You have to pay them salary. Okay? And the second component, of course, is the running cost.